What's going on, guys? So the market basically looks cooked on the short to medium term right now. So obviously, we did get the rally I was expecting, calling this a buying opportunity on the short to medium term. I was expecting us to go a little bit higher, to about 515, 520. Obviously that failed, and we kept having some negative news going on. But at the end of the day, obviously narrative always follows price action, and just looking at the broad price action, we can clearly see that the market just seems to search for a reason to sell off right now. I think that clearly we're seeing a lot of redistribution in the price action. Obviously, you don't need to be a genius to see that. When we were at these levels, I kind of said that I wouldn't be surprised that we have another pull, that we had a gap to fill here. We did not fill that gap. We could still go to these lower levels, which I would absolutely not be surprised. And later on in this video, obviously I'm going to talk about Tesla and Bitcoin, which is also not looking good. Solana as well. Definitely some bad momentum going on right now when it comes to the weekly time frame, which I will talk about. That's basically the second thing I use to trade, which is extremely important. It's momentum. So the reason why I believe that the market looks cooked for the short to medium term is obviously right here you can see that the momentum on the MACD turned negative right here, which is not a bad thing in itself, but obviously when that does happen, you want to be very careful and you don't want to go against the trend. So obviously I kind of did on the short to medium term based on probabilities and internals, and we were correct. We did have this nice little rally that we had here from that low right here, but as you can see here, that rally was not enough to push the momentum back positive. So it basically failed, and right now looking at a lot of internals, we could have another pullback to the downside on the short to medium term. Obviously, I could be wrong on that. We could push with some crazy news coming out of nowhere, but the point is right now, when you just look at the probabilities, it's 60-40 right now. 60% chance we go lower, 40% chance we go higher. My forecast for 2025 hasn't changed. It's just right now on the short to medium term, if the market is going to have another pullback, it should happen in the next coming weeks. I do believe that it will be bought back, and that most likely we're going to have a 5 to 10% correction max on the S&P 500 and the broad market. So we could, maybe revisit the 200 moving average of the daily time frame. So just something to keep an eye on. So that's just something I want to share with you guys. Obviously it's going to be a great buying opportunity again, but it's just obviously something you want to be prepared for. So I wanted to make this video to warn you guys that the market does look horrible right now. It doesn't look good. I would be very careful. I'm not going to put some sprinkles on the cupcake, right? So I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. On the short to medium term, it does look cooked. So looking at Bitcoin as well, guys, I would be very careful. Same with Bitcoin. The momentum on the weekly time frame has crossed negative as well, which is not good. And for some of you guys that were, listening to my videos a couple of months ago, if you remember during this entire consolidation period, I told you guys that we were going to go nowhere until the momentum turns back positive. And then that's basically what happened. And then we had this big rally. But right now, this is not good. Obviously, it just crossed. I thought that it would maybe go a little bit longer, but it didn't, obviously. And so right now, you just want to, prepare yourself to understand that most likely we could see bigger drawdown to the downside. If it's going to happen, it should happen now, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. And if it doesn't happen, which hopefully it doesn't, then we're going way higher. But before, a little bit of pain before higher prices is most likely the higher probability outcome on the short to medium term as we speak right now for the next coming weeks. So just have a lot of liquidity, just basically the same old stuff I told you guys in my last video. Nothing really changed, honestly, just the momentum basically, which is the most important factor on the weekly time frame to keep an eye on. And you just don't want to piss against the wind. This is something you just, want to respect the market, and you just want to wait when we cross back to positive momentum. And obviously right now, just a time to be patient. As I said, it was a good time to take profit in long-term portfolios because the returns to the upsides are not very high from where we are right now. Honestly, that's kind of what I've insane. Nothing really changed for that matter. So hopefully if you have dry powder, I do believe that if we do get that correction, it's going to be a very nice short-term buying opportunity to add some good returns for the year of 2025 into the next bear market, which will most likely bottom somewhere in 2026. So like I said, 2025 is going to be a very tricky year. It's going to be mentally exhausting, guys. And what I mean by that is, we could have a flush to about 98, 95,000 Bitcoin, and then, have a nice rip again, right back up. So it's just going to be one of those years where, obviously the easy money was made when you were buying with me in 2023, and I did add here, I added a little bit here. My average wasn't that good here, but it was still all right. I didn't buy too much. And what's funny is that, my returns are in traditional finance extremely high when you compare it to the average in the traditional financial world. But in crypto, I'm going to be honest, I'm very disappointed. This crypto cycle could end up being one of the worst performing crypto bull run, in my humble opinion. This is my third cycle, and wow, this was not a good one. Compared to the past two cycles, the past two cycles were so easy. There was so much money to be made, right? This one has been trickier, more technical. The trend also has been all over the place in crypto world. That's kind of why I also just stick with Bitcoin and Solana and a little bit of Ethereum for this cycle, which I talked about since 2023. Basically, I was just telling you guys to stick with those three big names and to not fool around with too many of the altcoins, because most of them would just not perform well. And that's basically what happened. Most of the crypto just went nowhere. Most people got wrecked. I'm up a lot in traditional term when it comes to Solana, but it sucks. Like, it's not as much as I thought. And I did want to talk about Solana. So this is the chart of Solana, just on the weekly. And you can see that it is nasty, and full disclosure, I just, for the first time since 2023, sold half of my initial investment in Solana. I was, buying since the lows, adding here. I did add a little bit in these levels, not a lot, so my average is really good, a triple digit, but I'm still very disappointed in just the overall altcoin season. I believe it already has happened, guys. I just think it was terrible. A lot of people are still waiting for it to happen. Be careful still wishing for that. I think it happened. It was nonsense, and it was most likely one of the worst crypto cycle. I think in hindsight, next year, a lot of people are going to realize that this basically just sucked. So everything looks cooked basically on the short to medium term. So do be very careful. I do believe it's going to be a nice buying opportunity, but it could be brutal. So I just wanted to warn you guys. In summary, every rip that we get, if we do have some small pushes to the upside in the broad market, is going to be sold off until the momentum basically turns back positive. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a quick little video telling you guys to just, be careful. Hopefully you listened to my past videos. They were pretty damn accurate. Then I just wanted to finish with Tesla as well. Horrible. I'm going to tell you guys why I believe it keeps getting sold off like this after all the amazing news. I think it's because Elon Musk is the head of the Dodge, and he was not supposed to be the head of Dodge in the US. He was supposed to be an advisor, and this is just not good for the Tesla stock, honestly. So this is why I believe it's selling off when it comes to, trying to find the narrative that makes the stock go down. On the more technical side, I think it's just market makers flushing retail, because retail has been flocking in the stock. I believe retail is right again on the Tesla stock. I do believe I will end up being correct. Most retail will end up making a ton of money, and that's the problem, right? So I think that market makers right now, they are flushing all the leverage. There's a lot of retail with a ton of insane leverage in Tesla because they know what's coming with Optimus, right? And I think they're just flushing it because there's so much leverage that they're just slowly grinding the price down to just kill the premium of the contracts of all the retail holding these insane out of the money call options. So that's pretty much it. There was some crazy good news also about Optimus. So basically Tesla is starting production already in the next coming weeks, which is pretty crazy. So hopefully this video helps you guys. So in summary, just be careful. Market is going to be very tricky, choppy, not fun, as I mentioned, since basically the beginning of this year. This year is going to be very tough, and it's going to be mentally exhausting until we get the actual real bear market, and then that's going to be a life-changing buying opportunity. So until that happens, you just want to be careful. You just survive, man. Just don't lose money. Survive the year 2025, and then there's going to be a hell of a buying opportunity. And every rip is basically going to be sold off until the momentum shifts back to the upside. And that obviously, we just got to wait until it does happen. So until then, we are now officially in a negative environment for the broad market in general. All right, that's it, guys. Take care, and God bless you. Have a beautiful day.